Hey there everyone, I'm Luke and today we're diving down the Tube of Toons to break down the trailer for Raya and the Last Dragon. So Raya and the Last Dragon is the upcoming Walt Disney Animation Studios film that's being released worldwide in both cinemas and premiere access on Disney+. The main character Raya is going to be the next of the Disney princesses, but don't let that fool you, this is not a musical. No, it's being advertised as Disney's first big true action animated film. And while I am disappointed there's going to be no songs, all this action does excite me. Now before we start, I do want to give a minor spoiler warning. I myself have not seen the film and don't worry, I'm not going to be spoiling any massive points. However, we are going to be looking at the trailer quite closely. And so we might pick up on details that maybe you want to be surprised by in the actual film. So proceed with caution, but don't worry, there is nothing too big. Now when I was originally planning on making this video, I was going to break down the video titled Official Trailer. However, since then they have released an international trailer, and I feel like that's a far better trailer for us to break down and take a look at. Now the official and international trailer bear a lot of similarities to one another. However, the international trailer does feature less jokes and humour, as that sometimes doesn't translate and play as well to overseas audiences. And as such, the international trailer really gives us a sense of like the action and the epic feel to the film. And from everything that's been said about the film, I feel like that's going to give us a better representation of what exactly this film is going to be. Now, I'm super excited for this film, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it or getting hyped for this film's release. This is a major Disney film that comes out in less than 2 weeks. It's the sort of thing that would normally have a lot of excitement behind it, but I've just not seen it. Perhaps it's due to the fact that most of the world is still in a pandemic. But in a short amount of time, a lot of us are going to be able to access this like top tier Disney animated film from the comfort of our own home. And that is why I decided I needed to make this video. I needed to break down this trailer and get more people like excited for this film and talking about this film, because at the minute I'm not seeing any of that. I'm not entirely sure why, because from my opinion this film looks to be incredible, and it's the sort of thing that normally I would expect a lot of people to be talking about, and that's just not happening. So hopefully taking a look at what we can expect from this film is going to get people a little bit more hype. And just before we get started, can I just ask you guys to hit that like button? It really helps out the video and lets other people see it and get excited for this film as well. And right off the bat I just want to say that I always appreciate whenever Disney gives a custom castle intro to their movie, and we can see it straight away in the trailer here, so I'm sure we're going to get an extended shot of that in the film itself. So first we see Raya and Tuk Tuk in the desert on their search for the last dragon, which she tells us she has been looking for the last 6 years across the entirety of Kamandra. Kamandra seems to be the country or the kingdom that Raya comes from. As you can see, it's shaped like a dragon and features 5 tribes representing the different parts of the creature. They are Fang, Heart, Spine, Tail and Fallon. And Raya and her father come from the Heart tribe. In flashback we see Raya's father explain to her how the 5 tribes once lived in harmony, but a great evil awakened, shattering the peace. Now Raya's father is the guardian of the Dragon Gem, and we can see from the teaser trailer that he's training her to become one also. Now it's actually this scene of her training that I did see actually get quite a lot of talk about it last year when the teaser was first released. A lot of the people were accusing the film of being a rip-off of Avatar, and that largely came down to the fact that the clothes Raya and her father were wearing being similar to that of those worn by characters Katara and Korra of the Water Nation from Avatar. Of course, when they combine that with the fighting, which Avatar had plenty of, and the fact that fight scenes took place surrounded by water, that seemed to make people suspect that this was going to be an Avatar rip-off. As well as the 5 different tribes once living in harmony and being divided by an evil force, that does sound somewhat similar to the opening of Avatar: The Last Airbender. However, I will say, especially now that we've seen a lot more looks at the film, it doesn't seem to be anything close to Avatar. Sure, the film is set in an Asian-inspired world much similar to Avatar, and so it's quite likely that the film draws on a lot of similar influences that the original Avatar shows also drew from. The 5 tribes do appear to be very different to the 4 nations from Avatar. They don't seem to be based around elementals. Raya and her father certainly were not waterbending in that fight. Personally, the shots of all the tribes stood together much more reminded me of the tribes found in Black Panther. They seemed a little bit more rural than the designs found in Avatar. Although yes, they are more Asian inspired than African inspired, I just found more similarities to that than I did to Avatar, which makes you think it isn't really a copy of Avatar. I think it's more just a similarity. but I don't think the 5 tribes really resemble the 4 nations all that much in actuality. And while these outfits do look similar to the Water Nation clothes, mainly being that it's the same shade of blue, there are a lot of differences. They're definitely both Asian style clothing, but I think they are different styles. You've got to remember the Water Nation is set in a very cold climate, and a lot of those clothes are really thick and are meant to keep the characters warm, where the opposite seems to be true here. These look like very thin, lightweight materials. Very martial arts inspired, which again Avatar also took a lot of inspiration from. And so yeah, while it's similar, it certainly isn't a straight out rip-off. And look, as we can see from all the different trailers, Raya wears a lot of different outfits throughout this film. And I'm sure Disney is going to capitalise on all of that with lots of different Funko Pops and fancy dress costumes coming to a Disney store near you. So I hardly think that one outfit that she wears in one sequence of the film really constitutes to the film being a straight up rip-off. And you know what? Look, Avatar The Last Airbender is probably one of the best animated TV shows ever created. And while I don't know anyone that actually works at Disney, I can guarantee you that most of the people that work there are big fans of the show. So if this film takes a lot of its influences from various parts of Asian culture, it's more than likely that they did take some inspirations from the show. But as I've outlined, they don't seem to be rip-offs. If anything, it's a loving homage to a show that they all grew up watching. But there seems to be far more differences than similarities for people to really be able to accuse things of being a rip-off. And at the end of the day, I love Avatar The Last Airbender. Is it really going to be a bad thing if there are more things that are similar to it? I don't think so. So like I said, they're the guardians of the Dragon Gem. But it looks like fairly early on in the film, this gem is going to get broken, which seems to send the world into chaos. And is that her dad getting turned into stone? It certainly looks like it. And I feel like this is something that's going to happen fairly early on in the film. And it's going to be these events that kick off the story, and this is when Raya goes on her 6-year mission, which is where we seem to be meeting her when the film starts. It seems that the different pieces of the Dragon Gem are taken by the different tribes, and it looks like Raya is going to have to search out the last of the dragons to help her reunite the Dragon Gems into one, and then use its magic to stop whatever evil forces divided the tribes in the first place. Now, while they have to piece together the Dragon Gem, this is a story that I've managed to piece together from watching the different trailers. I'm not 100% confirmed that that is what's going to be happening, but it's what it looks like, and that certainly sounds like fun. A scavenger hunt across these different tribes, which look remarkably different from one another, and we get to see all these different fun, crazy environments and meet all these different people. That looks like it's going to be a certainly fun adventure. And so the first stop on this quest, Raya and her animal sidekick Tuk Tuk must find the last dragon. And of course she does. The film is Raya and the Last Dragon, not Raya and the Search for the Last Dragon. I'm predicting around the 20-30 minute mark, we're introduced to Sisu the dragon, voiced by the brilliant Awkwafina. She looks to be a very fun, mild dragon that seems somewhat reluctant to help them out. And as you can expect from Awkwafina voicing the character, there's going to be a lot of comedy there. She's got an absolutely gorgeous character design, as does everyone in this film, might I add. But this beautiful, vibrant dragon looks absolutely amazing on the screen. And when you combine that with her personality, I'm sure this character is going to become a fan favourite fairly quickly. And then we see them recruit friends on their mission to reunite pieces of the gem. First up, we've got Little Noi, the baby con artist, and her band of, I think they're lemurs. She certainly looks like a fun character, and you can imagine the sort of things that she might get up to in the action scenes. Then you've got Tong, the giant guy. Can't really tell much about him from the trailer, but he's going to be voiced by Benedict Wong, who plays Wong in the Marvel movies. So I imagine he's going to be quite a fun comedic character. And finally Boone, the 10-year-old boy that owns his own shrimp emporium boat restaurant. I'm sure this entrepreneurial little kid is going to be very quick thinking and fast talking, and he's going to help him get out of some sticky situations with just his wits. Overall, they look like a really fun gang, and I can't wait to see them all in action together. Like I said, this is going to be a big action film, and we can see a lot of fighting in this trailer. Particularly, we see a lot of focus on this fight between Raya and Namari, who is from the Fang tribe. And we've seen a few looks at her in the different trailers, and she does look to be the main villain of the piece. It looks like it's going to be an absolutely epic fight, and when you combine that with all the other fights, we can see like her training with her father, and other quick glimpses we see throughout the trailers, this looks like it's going to be packed wall to wall with action. To be quite honest, it's reminding me a little bit of a Marvel movie. It seems to have like that style of action, that style of humour, which your mileage may vary if that works for you. But I'm a huge fan of Disney's Marvel movies. I'm an even bigger fan of animation, so to see the two of those things combined, I honestly cannot wait to see this unfold. And that's actually another reason why I've been surprised by the lack of people talking about this film. It seems to be embracing the Marvel movies, which are incredibly popular and make Disney probably the most amount of money, which is most likely why they leaned into that with this film, to try and attract that same lucrative audience. But not only have I not seen this film get the Marvel level of attention, but I'm worried that Disney are going to be competing with themselves with the release of this film. Because on the very same day Disney's releasing the trailer to WandaVision. And the reason that's worrying is that WandaVision has been one of the most popular, most talked about shows in the last few weeks. It's been constantly trending, and you've got to believe that the finale is going to have all eyes looking at it. And you can't blame them. I myself have been enthralled by the show. What's going on? Why are they in a TV show? How is the Vision alive? Where are the children? Everyone wants to know the answers to these questions. And while yes, Raya is technically coming out at the cinema, not many cinemas and theatres are open across the world. And even ones that are, not many are willing to go to them. So in a lot of markets, most people are going to be watching the film through Premier Access on Disney+. But on that very same day, on Disney+, is the finale to WandaVision. You know, Friday the 5th of March comes and you log on to Disney+, and you have the choice. You can watch a brand new Walt Disney animated movie for the cost of £20, $30, €26, or you could watch the finale of WandaVision, the show you've been watching for the last 8 weeks, for free. Or at least at no additional cost to the price of your subscription. A lot of people are just simply going to pick WandaVision. And while normally I would say that a Marvel show and the Walt Disney animated films don't necessarily have the exact same audience, but this Disney film, the most so, is an action animated film much in the vein of a Marvel movie. And so these two properties are in direct competition with one another. And it almost seems like Disney hasn't even considered that. Because why are they releasing both things on the exact same day when they are competing with one another, when one has a significant advantage over the other? It just doesn't seem to make great business sense. Sure, that doesn't mean people won't eventually buy Raya, but normally a film gets its biggest push when it first gets released. And so it seems odd to do that on the day everyone's going to be focused on the WandaVision finale. And not only that, but this WandaVision finale looks set to be an extra long episode. It's been said countless times that WandaVision in total adds up to around 6 hours of footage. And as of this recording, the first 7 episodes have been released, and they've all only been around 20 to 30 minutes long to fit that sitcom format. Well, that all adds up to around 3 hours and 20 minutes of footage, but if you include the incredibly long 7-minute closing credits that feature all the international dubbing, that makes it to just over 4 hours. And so either way, there's still around 2 to just over 2.5 hours of footage left to be seen across the next 2 episodes. And so it's looking more and more likely that the final episode of WandaVision is going to be closer to 1.5 to maybe even 2 hours long, essentially being its own mini Marvel movie that's going to be released on Disney Plus at no extra charge. And then you're putting Raya and the Last Dragon at a Premier Access rate up against it on that very same day, and it almost seems like Raya is going to be doomed to fail from the get-go. I mean, I know myself, when Friday the 5th of March comes around, I'm banging on WandaVision first thing. I'm going to watch that show before work because I don't want anything from that finale spoiled for me. And I don't feel like I have that same worry with Raya, and so I'm not going to watch that until I get back home from work. And don't worry, as soon as I finish it, I'm going to immediately start work and putting a review together for you all. But it definitely does worry me that people will not be checking this film out first thing. Also, I do feel that some people may just opt to wait for the film to come to Disney Plus at no additional cost, which is going to happen on June 4th. A lot of people might just simply think, well, they've waited this long, and if they weren't that overly hyped for it anyway, they don't mind waiting that bit longer. Which is certainly a shame. As a lover of animation, and specifically the Walt Disney Animation Studios, I definitely want to support this film any way I can, and if that means spending £20 on it, yeah, I'm all for that. I know myself, I'm going to watch it countless times, I'm going to watch it with different people, I'm going to watch it with all my family, and the amount of money that I and my friends and my family may have spent watching this film, going to the cinema, would have been so much more than my one-time fee of £20 to get it on Disney+. Obviously, it's not the same, you've not got the cinematic experience. And if the cinemas do eventually open in the UK not long after this film comes out, I'm definitely going to be running to the cinema to support it again and see it on the big screen. So for me, it's definitely worth it, but I understand that for some people, it's a lot of money to ask for to see a film, especially if it's just one person watching it and they're probably only planning on watching it the once. But you are getting more value if multiple people are going to be watching it, if you're planning to watch it more than once. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how hyped are you for this film. As you can see, I'm incredibly hyped for this film and I cannot wait for it to come out. But what about you? Let me know down below if you're planning on purchasing the premiere access of this movie. And even if you're not, are you still excited to see this film eventually, even if you are going to wait the 3 months? Are people actually excited for this film and they just kept quiet about it? I'd love to know down below because I'm super excited. I want to know that other people are as well. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. I'm just going to give you another reminder. Can you hit that like button if you have not done so yet? Because it really helps the video get seen by more people. And it's going to get other people hyped for this film. And if you've not done so yet, why don't you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified the next time we dive down the Tube of Toons. And don't worry, I know what you're thinking, we will be continuing our Scoobuary event. We've got more videos lined up, we've got 2 more Myth Behind the Monsters, we've got our review of the Sword and the Scoob, and the review is going to go up straight after this video. And some of the videos have been taking a little longer than I thought they would, as usual. So do expect some of Scoobuary to bleed into March. But do not worry, all those videos that I promised will be coming very soon. And like I said earlier, I will be reviewing this film as fast as humanly possible after it comes out. After I've watched the WandaVision finale and then watched the film, I will be reviewing this film. And I'll be getting it to you as fast as I can physically film, edit, render and upload it. Alright everyone, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Thanks for watching Tube of Toons. If you want more from the channel, hit subscribe. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on, follow us on our socials. Hope you liked it. Cheers.